Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you a throwback review. Now, I know before I did review a Led Zeppelin album before, and it was their first album. And I don't know, you guys, I've just been in the album reviewing mood these last couple of months. I don't know. I think it's just something that I'm just getting back into the swing of things too, and it's something that I'm passionate about doing again. So I figured, I know it seems kind of weird that, I reviewed Led Zeppelin 1, I skipped 2, because today we'll be reviewing Led Zeppelin 3. This is the album right here. I'll actually show you the packaging before I get into the music. All kind of goodies. Yeah, so what do I think of this album? I like it. I think it's a really good album, but it isn't my favorite Led Zeppelin album. My favorites would probably still to this day be their first album and Volume 4. I don't know, those are probably tied for my favorite, those two albums. But yeah, this here is Led Zeppelin 3, and I gotta say, it's a really good album. Now, with this album, Led Zeppelin was a band from, the late 60s era that really established that they wanted to be, a classic hard rock band, and it really shows, especially in their debut album. Their debut album had, a lot of great instrumentation, great vocal delivery, and on their second album, I wouldn't say it's more experimental, but it does, you can tell that they were kind of going in this sort of like folkier direction. And with that being said, this album here relies more on like the folk rock side. There is still some harder songs on here, like Immigrant Song, the opening track. I mean, everyone and their grandmother has heard this song. I mean, it's been in movie trailers, it's been everywhere. I think everyone in the world has heard this song at some point. And it is actually one that I do like a little bit. I do return to this song a little bit. It's super memorable. I really do like the vocal delivery in this song, and the instrumentation is super catchy, with the bass lines and all that stuff. It's just a really great song. And the track after that, Friends, I thought was a pretty interesting song as well. And, Tangerine, that's definitely one of my favorites, I would say. It's pretty catchy, and it's such a memorable song, and it's pretty, it's kind of a peaceful sounding song. I don't know if it's just me, but the vocals in the song sound a little muffled a little bit, like it's easier, it's easier to hear the instruments than the vocals. I don't know if I'm the only one that gets that feeling, but I feel like without that little, muffling thing that they do in this song wouldn't be the way it is, and I like it for that. That's the way I think is a really good song as well. Again, like I said, this album does rely more on the folkier rock side of Led Zeppelin, but like I said, there is still some harder songs on this, on this album, and I like the variety that this album delivers. Like I said, it's not my favorite Led Zeppelin album, but it's still really good. Usually I'm not someone who likes folk rock or folk music in general, but I actually like the way it's done on this album. A lot of you know that, I do like a little bit of folk metal, but the folk genre as a whole just doesn't do it for me. But I don't know, for some reason it works for me on this album, and I like it. So yeah, what would I have to rate this album? I would have to give it, I don't know, I would give it like in between a 7 and an 8 out of 10, somewhere around there. So maybe like a 7.5 or 0.10 or something like that. And the reason why, it's not like I would give it an 8, but it's, out of the first 4 Led Zeppelin albums, this one's probably one of my least favorites, but that's not saying much because I think it's still a really good album. But yeah, I would give this album like a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. Still a really good album, but not one of their best. So let me know what you guys think of this album. Do you think this is a good album to start with if you're wanting to get into Led Zeppelin? I think it would depend on your musical preference, but I think overall I would start off with their debut, or maybe even Led Zeppelin 2. But yeah, Led Zeppelin 3, really good album. I recommend it if you like classic rock. Definitely pick it up if you don't have it. So, what do you think of this album if you've listened to it? Thank you all for watching, have a good one, and take care.